Today we're going to do a super fun project related to the cymbal. So if we follow this link, it goes down into the machine, past the vibraphone, and here under the vibraphone, it attaches to a swing arm. And if you see carefully here, there's a marble waiting to be dropped there. So when the channel is opened, so when it stays open, no marble will fall down until it's closed again. Here's the two releases, here's the cymbal, here's the Mario Kart marble catcher lane. So this Tony, if you're watching, you can just use this clip and insert it after any one of your puns. So now you can see that the programming of the cymbal is already working. That's not the focus for this video. I have something really fun to build today. Machine X cymbal manual hitter / dampener. I want to have a lever that I can push in that will activate a drumstick that will hit the cymbal from below. So I can play the cymbal outside the programming. If I'm pulling this lever, a dampening arm will rise on this side, clamping the cymbal and stopping the sound. And I'm going to challenge myself to design this, manufacture this, and assemble this finished project in one day. So this side will hold the dampener, and this side will hold the drumstick. So I'm done with the fitting for the drumstick. I'm gonna wrap some felt around this piece. So I want some screws for the felt, 10mm from that edge, and I want you to be 10mm from that edge. It's quick and dirty. Let's finish this machine. Well, it's a masterpiece. Now let's just go in and make this a little prettier. So you see here, this corner is very sharp. I can just press F20 and it looks like I'm a CAD designer. So I need to make room for felt on top of here, maybe even 2 layers. So I'm pivoting this a little bit down. 8 degrees, yeah. So I don't want any sideways wobbles. I'm gonna make a new component and extract that 15mm. Let's put one on the other side here. So there's our slit. So I'm done with this design now. It took me 30 minutes. So we're in the cam module. I need to tell the CNC machine where my design is. Let's use this as X-axis. So I select this hole to drill, and then I can select same diameter. And if you see, the machine is now drilling all 4mm holes automatically that I just designed. You can simulate that. Here comes the drill. Boom. All the way through. Everything is awesome. So now I'm going to cut the contour. I'm putting a feed rate of 1000. Starting with these holes, I'm cutting 1mm under the bottom surface. The tool is ramping its way down with a 5mm cutting depth all around. Speed up, let's show the stock, and then we can see what the machine is planning to do. So that's our whole cam. I can now post-process and we can go and cut. So this section is my new and better organized workshop. This was dead space, only material storage. Here I'm the least organized maker on YouTube, so I have to step up my game. Look here, we have drills, we have taps, we have knives, we have big drills. Now we need a 4mm drill. So now I need a collet for the CNC machine to hold the drill. I'm gonna show you my most beautiful drawer. Oh, look at that. So I need to make a pocket here for the drumstick to sit in, and I forgot to make the G-code for that. So I'm heading upstairs and fixing that G-code. And for this pocket we're gonna use a 6mm ball end mill. And here's the new code, so let's load it and run the program. Let's check the fit of the drumstick. That looks spot on. So since this part is now held down here, here and here, I don't need to use the tabs to hold the piece down after it's being cut. I'm gonna remove all the tabs in the G-code to just have a clean file here. 1, 2, and 3. and no need to remove any tabs. I'm gonna leave a little gap here between the plywood and the felt, so the felt can move and hopefully dampen the vibrations even faster. I wonder if I can drill in this felt. Alex mentioned that you can machine felt by soaking it in water, putting it into the freezer, freeze it to ice, and then you can machine it. I don't have time for that today. It does drill. Look at that. There we go. So I went up to the machine and did a quick little length check, and funnily enough, I can cut the drumstick right on this line here. Countersinks. Let's see if I have... Yes, I have all screws in all lengths. It's a little bit Adam Savage feeling. 3M4 times 25. So now we have a reason to go into the prettiest drawer. So 3 of the M4 lock nuts. So I was going to cut a slot here and have the linkage sitting in the middle of this plywood. I just changed my mind. I'm gonna have the linkage sitting on 2 sides of the plywoods like this, so I don't weaken the plywood. Again, if I get feeling during a concert and whack this really hard, it might be better to leave the plywood a little bit oversized. Just some Martin feeling redundancy. So the hitter and dampener itself is now finished. Let's get some TIG welding done. So these stop collets will prevent the hitter to slide sideways on the shaft, and already now we have a good mechanical function. I want to make this into a mono-stable mechanism, so it always seeks the center. When I hit the cymbal, I want this to return to center, and I think I'm gonna do a real hacky solution with a spring steel attached diagonal like this to the shaft, and then I'm gonna cut a slot in here and have the spring steel going through the middle of this stick. Perfect, frictionless. So shaft goes in there, spring steel goes into the slot. So it wants to return to the middle, and I can adjust it by changing the thickness of this or just add more blades. So in there somewhere, the drumstick is a little bit too short. So I'm actually going to make it a little bit longer. So now I should be able to actually move this out there, and we have a new length. Art by accident. So with TIG welding, you can just hold the piece in place and then weld it on. It does mean that I don't have a hand free for filler rod, but I'm gonna do my best with this. I don't see anything. I want the drumstick to be a little bit further away and the dampener to be a little bit closer. So I can manipulate this first tack weld, something like that. It's so stupid and cool. I think I'm gonna consolidate that weld actually. I don't even have a thought of trying to make this beautiful because I hardly can see or reach. As long as the weld is strong, it's mission accomplished. This looks So great. Now I need to have this dampener clamp on a dampener from the top. I can do that with a cymbal. So this is the plan. This inside, and then make a package like before with this felt and then weld this on. Let's go and try and see if this has a good dampening effect. Let me try something else. Bigger surface area. Yes. When I turn the felt like this, only a small area is actually touching the cymbal. If I could make a dampener with a bigger area like this of the felt, I think the dampening of the cymbal will be much faster. Let's do some sewing. So this is the piece that goes on the dampener underneath, and I decided after the test to just sew this piece on like this, and this whole surface will touch the cymbal from below. I always loved sewing. I was the only guy in my school who had sewing and woodworking lessons. It was like only girls in the sewing and only guys in the woodworking. And I sewed my own costume for the Swedish Grammy Awards when I was nominated. I was nominated in 2 categories but didn't win any Grammys. So I got into the newspaper in a section for those who had best clothes on the Grammy Awards, and I had sewed my own one. I was actually quite proud about that. So check this out. This will dampen the whole cymbal, and this will secure my new felt piece. Yes. That's not welded together, that's fused together. But here you can see my evil plan. I'm just leaning this felt pad on top of the cymbal, and I'm gonna tack weld it in the back up here. And once it's tack welded, I'm gonna just bend it up slightly to get away from the cymbal, and I think the position will be pretty good. Voila! Don't drop weld on the cymbal. Huh. Oh. So a marble drop. Not bad, not bad. You also see that I burned the felt with the welds. And now we have another tweak we need to do. So I was never happy where this second channel was hitting, and now it's obstructed by the felt. I wanted to reroute this anyways. I'm gonna bend this first channel that is now hitting here to hit more over there, and the second channel gonna hit here. Okay, let's test channel 2. Spot on. So where is channel 1? Not so good. Try now, channel 1. A little bit back. Yes. Okay, so once more, channel 1. Perfect on the edge right there. Channel 2. Also on the edge. That's exactly what I want, and clearing of the felt pad. So, 7:15, I lost a lot of time to reading Lord of the Rings. They're just on Cirith Ungol, so it's exciting. But 7:15, I will try to finish this today. So this lever is for the dampening system. You see all these arms up here moves when I touch this. I want this space for my push lever. So me and Marius discussed if my lever was going to go here or here, and we decided that my lever was going to go here, and now I changed my mind. So I will use the TIG torch to heat this up and then bend it. It's basically like a PMMA pipe bending. Because now, if I move exactly to the front of the levers, you will see that in this line, in this plane, we can reach straight. Perfect. So I found this old failed part, and this I think will be perfect for bushing. I want the cymbal lever to be high up to distinct them from the rhythm machine levers and also to reach it easily for fast cymbal action. Hi-ya! That looks straight and awesome. A lot of room for my hand. Yes, they look straight. Isn't it cool with so many levers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 levers in the front. Wait. 9 levers. 9 ring wraiths. 8mm shaft, 10mm stock. I use a 1mm shim to get this shaft in center of the stock. So this is not what TIG welding should look like. This looks more like blacksmithing than TIG welding. Hiding my crimes. Let's start with tweak 1, this mechanical sound. Honestly, it's not so bad. I thought I was going to open it and polish it, but let's put some oil in there. I'm not going to do anything more than that. Let's go to problem 2. So when I hit the cymbal, it touches this metal bar up here. So I'm gonna put some felt pad under this metal bar. So right there is another place where the cymbal hits the metal when played hard. And I'm just going to glue some felt on top of there. Everything does not have to be difficult. So now if the cymbal sways down there, here is the second point where the cymbal interacts. That's only when I play manually really hard. When I drop a marble, it does not touch. Awesome. So we now have to look on the drum beater itself. So design-wise it's a little bit a shame because this drumstick is of course mega cool. But sound-wise, I need something else. Thank you for watching Wintergatan Wednesdays. Thanks to everyone who are supporting this project through crowdfunding. And yeah, hope you learned something today. See you next week.